2, Celtic 2. Dundee United 1, Motherwell 1. Dunfermline Athletic versus Heart of Midlothian, match postponed. Hibernian 1, Kilmarnock 2. Rangers 1, Wraith Rovers 0.
Well, Hibs didn't finish last season too well. How would they fare at the start of this one? Today they met Kilmarnock at Easter Road, and our reporter there, Alistair Murney.
When Darren Jackson cut through the Killie defence in the 5th minute, it was only good work by Dragoje Lekovic that denied the Hibs the opener. It was Lekovic to the rescue again 12 minutes later from a fierce Keith Wright shot. But it was Kilmarnock who stung the home side with 2 goals in a 6-minute spell. The first came in 20 minutes when Ali Mitchell took full advantage of a poor defensive header to fire home from 18 yards. John Henry made it 2 when he collected the ball in the right side of the box and waltzed through the Hibs defence before slotting the ball in from 10 yards. Hibs got one back 2 minutes later when Wright put McIntyre away. He showed superb control, first of all by collecting the ball with his heel and then calmly curling the ball past Lekovic from 16 yards. Hibs dominated the second half but found Lekovic in outstanding form, pulling off 2 quite superb saves, first from Andy Dow in the 73rd minute and then 3 minutes from time from Darren Jackson. Final score at Easter Road, Hibs 1, Kilmarnock 2.
Hibs opened the new season at home to Kilmarnock, and it was Alec Miller's side who looked the more likely in the early stages. Ian Cameron, Mickey Weir and Keith Wright all involved in this move before Darren Jackson was denied by keeper Lekovic. Kilmarnock were desperate to avoid a similar start to last season's campaign when they lost their first 5 league matches, and they almost took the lead through Colin McKee, denied here by the post. Hibs continued their passing game and they opened Kilmarnock up again. Mickey Weir's layoff giving Keith Wright a chance. Lekovic made the block. And it was the big keeper who set up his side's first goal from a kick-out. Gordon Hunter put under pressure here from Jim McIntyre, and his headed clearance fell nicely for Ali Mitchell. 1-0 for Kilmarnock. Hibs were playing with a 3-man central defence in this game, and Alec Miller will surely be asking why nobody got close enough to Mitchell to make a challenge. Having put his side ahead, Mitchell then put Kilmarnock under pressure when he lost possession. Mickey Weir headed for the byline. Keith Wright knocked the cross down, but Pat McGinley couldn't beat Lekovic. And then a second for Kilmarnock. John Henry and Paul Wright with a good exchange on the edge of the box, and Henry kept cool enough to finish it off. Wright's layoff takes Brian Welsh out of the game here. Henry survives the challenge, and Leighton was beaten again. But Hibs were back in it 3 minutes later with a goal from Mickey Weir. A delightful dummy provided the space. Lekovic beaten at last. Keith Wright provided the layoff from Darren Jackson's pass, and with both Neil Whitworth and Derek Anderson wrong-footed, Weir had the time to pick his spot. "2-1 down at the break, Hibs grabbed the initiative in the second half, but it just wasn't Keith Wright's day. This header flashing over the bar. Hibs were beginning to run out of time now, and Willie Miller tried to provide an equaliser with this break on the right. Lekovic decided to come for the fullback's cross and then changed his mind, and that proved the correct decision as he made another superb save. Hibs going for broke with the long ball now, and it almost paid off for Darren Jackson, running on to this layoff from Pat McGinley. But this was to be Dragoje Lekovic and Kilmarnock's day. It ended Hibs 1, Kilmarnock 2.
And so Kilmarnock's win sees them in an unlikely position at the top of the Premier Division. Rangers the only other winners on day 1. There were draws for Aberdeen, Celtic, Dundee United and Motherwell. For Hibernian and Wraith Rovers, things can only get better. Dunfermline and Hearts, meanwhile, must wait to get their show on the road. For the moment then, John Henry's winning goal at Easter Road has Kilmarnock flying high. But will it last? We'll have the answer next week on Tartan Extra.